All right, everybody, welcome back to Breaking Barriers. Today we are here with LaVone Hill and Larry Braxton. I'm Angelina Braxton. I'm your host, and we're about to get into it. Today um, we're about to talk about breaking barriers, the type of barriers that are, you know what, we're about to get into it. I'm doing too much talking. All right, so I want to start by introducing our guest, LaVone Hill. And LaVone is a Michigan exoneree, which means that he was convicted of a crime that he didn't do. And now, thank God, he is back with us. And we're just going
Amen.
to talk about, I'm curious to know if we are looking at this young man, when you see this man, he doesn't look all beat up and bruised. It's like, how do you go and do time? And we're not talking about pennies. How do you go and do time and then come back and still want to help the community, still want to help yourself? How do you do that? So we're just going to get right into it. All right. LaVon, welcome to our show today.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, look, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Why didn't my um hmm. All right, we're not gonna worry about it. So Levon, let's get into this. Tell me if I'm not, and if any time you don't want to talk about it, you're like, oh, we'll talk about that later.
No, I'm an open book. I ain't got no secrets.
All right. So we're talking about you were convicted of something you didn't do, and you spent a week in jail.
No, I spent a lot of weeks. I spent 22 years, 6 months in prison for a crime that I was actually and factually innocent of, and for a crime that I wasn't even present that happened. I was asleep when it happened on the other side of town. Yep, 22 years, 6 months. Been home 14 months.
Okay. So, whew, this is
Yeah, that's heavy.
frustrating.
Yeah.
That's really heavy.
No, it's got to be heavy for you because it's heavy for
Yeah.
us.
I mean, well, yeah, it was heavy for me, but now it's hey, I'm getting it off me.
There you go. There you go.
So
I'm glad.
what I'm thinking about when you, what do you think when they say guilty?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like when I was found guilty, um, my situation is really that whole situation was really kind of it was mind blowing and it's still unbelievable today because there was a police officer, Sergeant Walter Bates, and he was a police officer and he human, so he into stuff he probably shouldn't have been into, but he arrested a guy. A guy was arrested, and they cut a deal with the guy that if the guy said that he witnessed me kill these two people, that the drugs that he was caught with would just disappear. And that's basically how that. Well, not no. Basically, that's exactly what happened. A guy came in here and said, "Yeah, I saw LaVone do this," and it was mind blowing.
Why do you think he said I saw Levon do it?
Well, Sergeant, well, the police officer, and we don't have to keep
Yeah,
naming names,
exactly.
but me and the police, we had bad blood.
Oh, you had
Yeah, so
history.
we had
Okay.
history. We had history. So, I knew, just being honestly, I knew that he was going to put a case on me because he put cases on several guys, and so we've witnessed this in Detroit. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got a history of this. So I was actually preparing myself. I say, you know what? He finna put a gun case on me. He finna put a drug case on me. So he's finna do something, right? But
Okay.
when they said you being charged with 2 counts of first degree murder, I'm like, what? I'm like, he ain't play no games.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went for the juggler.
Okay. How do you how do you smile? How do you still I mean, I guess you believe in God.
Without a doubt.
Okay. But realistically, from a human perspective, this happened. I don't know how to manage it. How do you manage? What was the first day in jail like?
Honestly, I really can't even tell you what the first day was like. It was because like the first maybe 3, 4, 5 years in that place was all a blur. And I was in survival mode because again I went in there with double life. 2 counts of first degree murder. I had 2 counts of natural life. So I had life. So I went straight to a maximum facility, 23-hour lockdown.
Brown
So
outfits?
we had the blue and the orange.
Okay.
And so I was just straight in war mode. I was in survival mode because the environment that I was placed into, this was a brand new environment, but I was in an environment that was kill or be killed.
What changed for you? What was the shift? Do you know in jail? Like, so you said the first 5 years or so.
Right. Well, it was kind of yes, ma'am. I'm
It was a
listening.
blur.
Right.
But then at what point do you decide this I'm in here?
Right. Well, my mentality, my mindset, I was found guilty, and when I was found guilty, I was like, not really knowing the law, how I know it now, and just how young black men. I'm 25, and I had really never had no law contact. So when I went to prison for this crime I didn't do, that was actually the first time that I was ever in the county jail. So when I saw the county jail, I went right from the county jail, 22 years, 6 months in prison, right? So this was like this was my very first experience. But I was found guilty, and my mindset was like, hey, well, I didn't do this, and y'all know I didn't do this because the victim's family was in court telling them that I didn't do this. I had a beautiful support team, so I didn't do this by myself. I did this with the help of God,
Right.
but I had a beautiful support team that was in place when I went in prison, and God blessed me that all those years I was in prison, my support team stayed intact,
That's important.
didn't have one death,
Thank
and I was
God.
delivered out of prison with that exact same support team.
Wow.
So I was totally protected. Let's not play no games. Like
Yes,
it was a
yes.
meaning and a purpose for my life.
Amen.
Let's not play no games. So that situation there played a purpose in my life in making me the man that I am today.
All right. So
And so I thanked them for that. I took the power back. And at my hearing with the judge, she was like, well, I know you may be bitter, and I know you may be sad. I say, no. I say, no, ma'am. I say, I want to thank you and the prosecutor and all y'all foul stuff for what y'all did because y'all made me who I am today. Thank y'all. Y'all don't hold no power over me.
So after the 5 years when you were in a daze, when you come out of your daze,
Oh, okay. So the days, when I'm saying the days, I'm saying like I can't really remember
of course.
those first 5 years. But from the first day I went in there, I got into the law library. Talking about very first day.
Okay.
Very first day when I went in, I said, hey, y'all, where's the law library at? And I got over to the law library and went to talking to guys that was in there doing research, guys that was working, and I'm telling them my situation. And, of course, everybody in prison is innocent.
Yes.
So they like, oh, man, you innocent? Yeah, shit. They like, yeah, for real. We all innocent.
Right.
I'm like, well, guess what? I'm really innocent. They like, yeah, we is too. But the point was, in that maximum level facility, you had guys that really cared about guys in there. So you think like, well, guys in
Yes.
prison and they all savage, they all trying to get over on people and they all beasts. But you got guys in there that really got real, true, genuine love for their peoples,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so them guys taught me everything I knew. They taught me how to get them books, how to get that Shepherd book, how to get that Michigan Court of Appeal book, how to get that Michigan Supreme Court
All
book,
right.
how to look up these cases on Westlaw. And so I became one of the guys where I'm in there every day in that law books. I'm eating the law books, and when I ain't eating the law books, I'm in the weight pit. So that's
Okay.
how I spent my whole 22 years and 6 months in the law books and in the weight pit because I knew the only way I'm getting out of here is if I get out of here myself, that I got to put the work in myself, but I got to learn this, what y'all used against me. I got to learn it.
Mind and body.
Well, how did you find people to help you on the outside? I mean, real like the Innocence Project.
Right.
How did you?
Well, that was wow. That's a different story there. I don't know if we're ready for that, but I'll get to it. But I've had several attorneys that I use throughout the process. I was denied maybe 10, 12 times. I was denied in every court. So I've had a bunch of attorneys. But my last legal team, I'm going to give you a story. My very first attorney, when I was denied in the Court of Appeals, he said, well, LaVone, I see that you're innocent, and I did everything I can do, and we're going to go to the Michigan Supreme Court. We're going to do this. He say, but it's one guy that if you can get this guy get you out of jail. And this was like 2005. I said, and I still got a letter right now from this attorney saying this. And he say, if you can get Dave Moran, Dave will get you out, right?
Who is Dave Moran?
God, that's who Dave Moran is. God.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who he is. Google him. That's who he is. So
All
he's the
right.
director. Well, he's no longer the director now, but he was the director of the Michigan's Innocent Clinic. Right, and it's a man that when
He does what he said he gonna
yeah,
do.
exactly. When they see them, they shaking their boots. But it's like almost impossible to get Dave. Getting Dave is like hitting the lottery for those millions and billions. It just don't
Exactly.
happen.
Right, right,
Because
right.
the caseload is so big, the funds is not there. It's a lot to get them, right? So I went through 6, 7 different attorneys, and then my mother, and I call her my mother, her name is Ronnie Smart, but this is my brother, LaRon, his mother, and she was instrumental in my whole development, made me who I am today.
Right.
And I had just got denied in the court, and so this was about like 2015, and me and Miss Smart talking, and she like, LaVone, she like, have you ever reached out to Dave? I'm like, you talking about Dave Moran? And she like, yeah, Dave Moran up at the Michigan Innocent Clinic. I say, yeah, well, I done wrote Dave a couple times, and I done wrote the Innocent Clinic a couple times, but, it's just so hard. And she was like, well, LaVone, she like, I'm gonna make a couple phone calls. She like, I'm gonna make a couple phone calls for you. She said, but I want you to reach out too. So I reached out, and she made a couple phone calls.
Okay. Your mom, your
Well, this is my
brother's
brother,
mom.
LaRon.
Your
This his mother.
surrogate mom.
Yeah, Ronnie Smart. I'm like, this my heart.
Right,
The love of
right.
my life, even though rest in power, she no longer with us. And she made them phone calls, she wrote them letters, and with the grace of God,
Thank God.
I signed the retainer with Dave Moran.
How did she come across that name? How did she know of him?
Well, she had a nephew who was also exonerated.
Oh,
Like back
okay.
in like 2010, maybe hypothetically,
Yeah.
And she was like, they got my nephew out. They got Dwayne out. Dave had got Dwayne out. Woo, woo. And I'm like, yeah, Mom. Like, but it's hard to get Dave. You can't, And like I say, I got Dave. I signed the retainer with him. And I knew that day when I signed that retainer with him, I knew that day that I was getting out of
You
prison.
felt it.
Well, no. I knew it.
You just
Let's
Well,
not play no
you-
game.
First, you're innocent.
Well, no, because I signed the retainer with him because I know this guy and I know his work.
He can do
And
it,
this, I'm
so-
talking about
Yeah,
like,
this is what he do.
this is what Dave do.
okay.
This is what the Michigan's Innocent Clinic do. And so when I signed that retainer, and me and Dave got a funny story because I done told this story several times. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like, yo, when I signed that retainer with Dave was like, yeah, I'm getting you out. And Dave like, LaVone, I never told you that. I'm like, Dave, you did tell me you was getting me out of prison. He like, LaVone, I've never told
"You
you.
never
He say, LaVone, I never told you I was getting you out of prison. He said, I never told you that I can get you out of prison. He said, I'm gonna represent you and I'm gonna do. I say, Dave, well, you might have said that. I say, but I knew when I signed that, you was getting me out of prison.
Okay.
And he did that.
She said, don't be out here having people have these fake expectations or these great expectations.
Well, not
but
no fake
he
expectation.
can
No,
do it.
no. That's what he do.
Okay.
No, that's what he do.
Dang,
Yeah.
Dave Moran. Never heard
This
that
is
name.
part of why we are here.
That's
To
it's
bring
imp-
people like that to the forefront,
Like
Jenna
Dave
Cobb,
Moran, the
yeah,
hell-
Jenna
Yeah.
Cobb. Listen, Jenna Cobb walked me out of prison. She the lady that represented me. Listen, I got a legal team that don't play.
Yeah.
Olivia, love you, Olivia. Listen, don't play. So I knew I was coming out. It wasn't no secret. Once I had them, I still stayed in the library and I still continued doing what I was doing. But I'm like, hey, I'm on borrowed time. I'm out of here any day.
But how long? What year? You said when you.
Oh, so I signed the retainer with them?
Yes.
I probably signed the retainer by like maybe 2016, 17, hypothetically up in there.
Okay.
So-
So then it took about.
On the average time, your litigation gonna take you, preparing the case, investigation, and going through it. It's gonna take 3-4 years to, build the body of a case. Once any new attorney come on and is handling something, it's gonna take them 2-3 years to build the body of it. Because if not, they ain't putting no work in. You got
Okay.
but the Corona pandemic happened. So the Corona pandemic happened. That shut everything down.
Right.
That set it because had the Corona pandemic not happened,
Right.
I would have been way out of prison. But
Yeah.
the Corona pandemic happened. Then that shut everything down. Then you got to deal with the dockets and back and forth, the filings. So that's what held me up.
This is what I was thinking about. Being an exoneree, do you
Right.
think that your family, did everybody believe you initially?
Yes.
Thank
That's
God.
Listen,
good. That's
like
great.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe they didn't. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this, wholeheartedly, I know for sure everybody in my family, all my supporters, everybody in the neighborhood, everybody that know this case, know I didn't do it. The police know I didn't do it. The judge, I told the judge at trial, I didn't do this. So everybody knew I didn't do this. It was no secret. Like, people knew, like, LaVone did not do this, and LaVone was not there.
That's good. And they
Yeah.
stood up and they were like, hey, he
Yeah.
didn't do it. And they supported
It's so
you.
sad because you actually had to prove yourself innocent.
I had to prove twice, yes, sir.
And see, that's supposed to be the exact opposite of the system.
It's what, hypothetically, but you innocent to proven guilty. But when they had them cuffs on you and you sitting there in front of the jury, the jury is looking like, hey,
He
well, you
guilty.
may not have done this, but you done something, because they just don't have innocent people in here saying you done something. So if you in there, you can, so.
Okay, so my question to you about being innocent, knowing you're in there doing all this, so now you have these people, you have a support, you got a team.
I had a squad for sure. I
Okay,
had a
a
team,
real-
a
you got a
dream.
hit squad.
I had the dream team.
Right,
How
you
they
had
talk
SWAT
about
on
the
it.
yeah.
So now you know that I'm good. What is that like being in there? Do you share that with other?
I did. And you know what? Like, even the whole time that doing my denials, and you know, I was the guy that I was in there helping people with their law work. Guys was coming to me the whole time. Hey V, they called me V. Hey V, can you help me with this case? You know, I got this going on. Yeah, you know, so I'm filing paperwork for people. You know, I'm like, here, let me do this for you. Here's how you research. So I was always helpful in paying it forward, because I was like, hey,
Yes.
you know what? I got a debt to pay. And based on the information and the knowledge that I have, I'm going to help somebody. I'm not just going to have it and hold it and just sit there like,
Yeah.
like this, like, one day I'm going to get out of prison, but I ain't going to help nobody else. No,
Right.
I help a lot of guys get in position, and I help guys get out of prison that got out of prison before me. And I've watched them walk out like, yeah, bro, that's right. Like, I love
That's
you,
a
bro.
good
Like,
feeling too,
and like,
yeah.
it's like, look, I'll be there, bro. Don't
Yes.
feel bad for me, because they were like, dang, V, you know, I'm like, don't feel bad for me. I'll be there. Like, you going out there and live your life. I'll be there. I'm gonna hold it down, but I'm gonna be there.
Right.
Yeah. So I always was upbeat, good attitude. But with Dave, with that situation, and it was kind of like, again, like, because we talking about God.
Yes.
We talking about the man.
Right.
So when he come into the prison to visit me, and I signed that retainer, the officers was like, it was an energy shift, because they like, when I was coming back, they like, hey man, you know who that is? I'm like this. Yeah, I know who that is. They like, no, for real. Like, they like, do you know who that guy is? I'm like, oh yeah, that's my attorney. They like, they was mind blown, and even because the word just spread. So guys like, hey man, Dave was up here. You got the innocent clinic. Woo, 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 woo. I'm like, yeah. And so, you know, so I shared it with everybody. Like, listen, this is what you got to do. You know, to help everybody get in position.
And you were fortunate because the innocent clinic don't take on cases. I mean, many.
They don't take on many
difficult.
cases. It's like I say, it's like hitting the lottery. So I hit the lottery twice, because I hit the lottery with getting my team, and I hit the lottery by getting that decision that we got when we went to court.
Were you anticipating? I mean, so what happens on the day you go to court? Do you get released that day, or
I
you
did.
have-
I did.
Damn,
I did.
dog.
I did.
God, what did that look like? I mean,
What it looked like? I mean, I got the
amazing.
photos and the videos. I can share it with you, but what it looked like was
Please.
that,
like emotion.
we-
What does it feel? You know.
you know what? Honestly, what it felt like, it felt good, but it was also a sad day, because I knew I was leaving a lot of guys behind that needed me.
Yes, I feel you.
Yeah, because you shining a light on people.
I hear you. That's the tough part.
Right.
We were talking about that today, those challenges. That's why we here.
Yeah.
And you want to know what we're doing. We're amplifying the voices. Just like how you talked about Dave Moran. You talked about the different people. These are names I never heard.
Yeah.
I'm new.
Jenna Cobb, don't forget about her.
Jenna
Olivia.
Cobb, Olivia.
Yeah. Don't forget, yeah.
Nobody know.
Imran, my bro Imran. Yeah, we like they got a squad up. They got the dream team up there.
And see, that made me think, like, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
How can I help them? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Because and there are other people like me, like Larry, like you, that are out there that have something, don't know what to do, but like, well, we can help.
That's right.
While I figure out what exactly I'm supposed to be doing, I could be helping.
That's right.
You know, so on the day coming out, it was tough because you had to leave some people. That's your family.
And I had to leave a cousin. You know, I was blessed because I had a cousin that's innocent in there also, and he was set up by the same police officer.
Wow.
And like that whole like the whole 22 years, me and him rode each other back and forth. We was never at the same location. So I was blessed to get at the location with him upon right before I was released. I was transferred to Muskegon Correctional Facility.
Okay.
That's the facility that he had always been at.
Oh, wow.
And they put me right next door to him.
Wow.
So I was able to have, 4-5 months with him directly, giving him information, helping him up, get his case
Yes.
lined up. And so I was like, man, I'm like, I'm leaving Cuz. But I talk to Cuz there all the time, and, he in position.
Yeah.
But but I went to court on Zoom. See, I didn't go to court in present.
Okay.
Because they want you to go to court, and they take you downtown and they chain you up and you do the bus ride. And so my legal team, we was like this, we ain't doing that because the ball in our court, we in control.
Okay.
We running this show.
We'll do Zoom.
We running this. Y'all gonna play by our rules. Y'all gonna play by our rules, and it is what it is. We was ready to fight. So we went to the Zoom that morning at like 9 o'clock, and went to the Zoom about 9. Went back and forth with the litigation. My attorney said what she said, the prosecutor, the judge. About like 10 o'clock, maybe the proceedings was over.
Okay.
And the judge ruled, the judge made a ruling that I was an innocent man. And I had to wait on the judge to fax the papers up to the MDOC.
Okay.
So all the paperwork was faxed to the MDOC, and I walked out of prison like 1:30, like 1:32 exactly. I'm talking about I walked out of there that same day, like, let's get it. And like the officers, everybody just mind was blown because
I can imagine.
they're like, oh, Mr. Hill, we're so sorry. We can't believe this.
That you were innocent now.
Whoop. And I even had a conversation with one of the ladies who was the so-called mental health expert in there. Because again, I wrote them a couple of times, like, I want to, get some therapy, get some counseling,
Right.
Exactly.
And so they was always denying me. Oh, Mr. Hill, you lying. You don't need no counseling. You don't need no therapy. You got a life bit. You finna die in here. There's no services for you. Yada yada yada. No big deal though, because
Right.
I was always taking care of myself spiritually, and so I didn't need their help, and I'm glad they didn't help me. Right. So watch this. I won my case, and I'm sitting here on the bench, getting ready to walk out the door. The psych, the mental health psych, the head lady, she walk up and she like, oh, well, congratulations. I just heard about what happened with you, and congratulations, and And I'm saying, because a lot of people was coming, a lot of the administrators.
Right.
So I say, thank you, small talk, and I say, well, who are you? Just to ask her who she
Right,
was.
yeah.
I say, well, what's your name? I say, because I'm on my way out the door, but what's your name? And so when she tell me, I was like, wow. I looked at her. I say, so you the lady that I was writing and I was talking to. And she said, Mr. Hill, I am so sorry. That lady was like, she said, Mr. Hill, I am so sorry that I thought you was lying, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't help you.
Maybe you enlightened her.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm
Maybe she
glad. But
won't
I'm
do
glad
that
because I
again.
ain't need your help anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that
Yeah,
might help
but-
the next brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now maybe that might have helped when somebody else is in that position and they
Yeah.
want to see these people, and these people like, hey, But yeah, so
Yeah. It does happen.
it does happen.
It does happen.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break in a few minutes. But there were a couple of things. We're going to come back and
Okay.
finish talking. But before we go to break, I just want to say, again, shout out to, thank the Innocence Project.
Without a doubt. The Michigan's Innocent Clinic.
Yes, for doing that. That's hard
And I'm
work.
talking about, and they
It's real work.
I was number 44. I was the 44th guy that they had got out. Yeah.
And since they've been doing it?
Yes, since they've been doing it. So they've, I think they started in hypothetically 2000, the early 2000s, or something like that. But I was number 44, and since my release, I believe it's been 2 or 3 other, But yeah, they putting that work in though.
Oh, they're putting the work in.
Yeah.
I met another gentleman who is incarcerated. He's going to be on our show too. We met him at that seminar at the I forgot.
Restorative justice.
At the Restorative Justice Conference.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That was
he
up in Kalamazoo.
was, I think he did 43 years.
Okay.
And
Was he exonerated?
he was exonerated. He got
Okay.
out in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I know him. If you
Yeah.
tell me the name.
Arthur. Wait,
Arthur.
was it Arthur?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Arthur.
it was
I think.
Arthur.
Yeah. Wow, 44 is a powerful number. You and Obama.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't do 44. Thank
No, I'm
God.
saying 44.
Yeah, I was the
He was
number
the 44th
44. Oh,
one.
number
Yeah, I was
Obama was
the
the 44th president.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
See, y'all was right
Yeah.
over my head. Okay.
But yeah, that's
All
awesome,
right.
man.
So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Breaking Barriers. We're going to come back with LaVone Hill, Angelina, and Larry in just a few minutes. We're going to pay some bills. Thanks.